One of the experiments that we did this year is these Cherokee Black Beans. And I don't know if you can see on video just how loaded these are. Only part of them are what's hanging inside. Now these are a bean, they look much like a green bean, but they're used as a dry bean. So we have to actually wait for the plant to die off before we harvest these. They have the prettiest little blooms. Let me see if I can get it to focus better. There we go. They are so pretty. And then there is just loaded with beans. And then they get darker as they age. And this is only half of my bed. We planted it as a test crop to see how it would do here, even though I know farmers that grow black beans. I hadn't ever. I would say that they're doing pretty good.
So we've all been under the weather, and I can finally at least be upright today. The dizziness has been horrific with whatever this bug is that we have. But because I can be upright, I decided to go ahead. I've got these beans that we had to pull off because of what our weather is doing, and they've been sitting here waiting for me. So I decided I'm going to put on some podcasts in my ear and sit here, and we're going to shell beans. So I just wanted to show you real quick. These are Cherokee Black Beans. They have a really cool story behind them. I got the original seeds from Baker Creek, and they are pole beans, which was important. None of the other beans, you can actually plant store-bought dry beans, but I needed to be guaranteed that I was planting pole beans, which means they grow up a trellis rather than a bush bean, because I didn't have room for any more plants, but I had room for stuff to grow up. And so I wanted to show, this is pretty cool. So I'm going ahead and harvesting even ones that aren't completely dry, and I'll dry them. But you can see they just come open, you know, like a green bean pod or that kind of thing. And you can use the immature ones as a snapping bean, so like a green bean, and eat them. But we specifically wanted to grow them for dried beans. And so it's just, this is what I'm going to be spending my morning doing while I'm listening to a podcast, or 3, who knows. And I'll just get them processed, and then the ones that need to be dried out so that they're safe for storage, we'll actually put in the dehydrator on a low temp and just go from there. So I'll be hanging out in my laundry room until I can't stand being on my feet anymore, just processing these, and go from there. So this pod's getting mostly dry. You can see how that pulled off and kind of twisted up. You're supposed to leave these on the plant until they actually rattle, and we just didn't have time for that this year. I think we planted, how many plants?
10.
I was gonna say like 16 or 20.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 on each side or something like that.
I don't know. I just dug a hole and put them in.
Yeah, they're literally that easy.
I just dug a trench and just went.
I wanted to get that skin off of it.
But there was 40 seeds in each package, and I think we only used like a third of a package.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much.
And we've already more than gotten back what we planted.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of a cool experiment. One of those things never done before, so I thought it was going to be cool to try.
And will we grow them every year?
Probably not.
Probably not. But there's one of those things that, like, huh, this would be fun to try.
Well, just knowing you can grow something like that, like especially a main staple like beans, you know, dried beans,
yeah,
really builds your confidence that you can survive through through a famine or something.
We don't eat a lot of pasta. I lost a bean. I don't know where that went. We don't eat a lot of pasta, so our main staples are beans and rice. But we have to be careful with the amount of beans that we eat. For a while, we tried cutting down the amount of meat that we were eating and went to beans as our protein source. And for whatever reason, our bodies just don't handle it well. John ended up with kidney stones, and they were
Uric acid ones?
Oh yeah, uric acid ones rather than the oxalic acid. And so it was from the purines in our food, which beans are really high in purines. The majority
the gout.
Yeah, you got the gout. The majority of our family also cannot process soy. We can do a little bit here and there, but not a lot. It just does not do nice things to us.
We can do the edamame, the bean itself, but not the processed stuff.
Yeah. And so then began our trip down the rabbit hole of rabbits, because rabbit meat actually doesn't have the purines that a lot of other meats have. And when we were looking at what could we grow ourselves. And so we do eat a lot of meat. That is our main source of protein. We are a carnivore family.